I saw One Life with Anthony Hopkins. Bring your tissues. I There was a couple parts in the theater and I could tell even the trailer I started to tear up. So I went in prepared, and I also went with my mom, and we both are very emotional beings. So I think whenever we're around each other we just like fuel that. But there was a couple of parts in the movie where there was like poignant moments, and then there was like silence where it was like very, very quiet in terms of the actual sound and soundtrack coming from the film. And the entire theater, all you heard was like everyone was crying. But it's, for me, if you're concerned, because sometimes people hear they get emotional and they're like, no, don't want that. It was a really like really beautiful cathartic cry. Like it was a moved by the power and the strength and the resilience of the human spirit kind of. So it wasn't just like, oh, like, dead puppies, like, uh you know what I mean. Sometimes films, it's like they'll show things and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I just can't with that right now. And it's about this older man, and it's based on a true story, which is really, really cool. But it's this about this older man's life, and he is dealing with having to declutter and stuff like that. And he comes across this scrapbook of when he was a young man and at the beginning of World War II. He's British, and when there was a lot of Jewish refugees and refugees in general that were fleeting, fleeting. You know what I'm trying to say, to Czechoslovakia, and it was before Hitler officially was occupying. And it's this story about how him and this, small group of people are working to get children, these children refugees, out of Czechoslovakia to England. And anyway, I don't want to ruin it for you, but it's really good. And actually, I am gonna ruin something. So spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it and you don't want it ruined, stop listening now. Spoiler alert. The thing that I thought was so beautiful and poignant about the ending is it wasn't just, so often we'll see these films and they will be about, oh, this like really inspiring true story of this thing that happened, which, great, like great. It's not that I like don't want that, but sometimes those films are just really basic and they've been overdone so much before. But what was so great about this film was it picked a very specific time in this man's life of something that he did, and then it tied the past back to the future of what he was experiencing then, because what he was experiencing was having to move on, and also how much he was resisting the acknowledgement and the contribution of what he did accomplish, because for him it wasn't enough. For him it wasn't perfect. So like the ending was just so beautiful of him getting to actually meet the people whose lives weren't going to happen anyway. They weren't going to exist if it wasn't for him and what the other people did. So it's almost like he was forced to transform and accept who he was, and like the acknowledgement for who he was through what happened, through this true story of what really happened, which had to just be so beautiful, of him getting to meet the children at the end that he saved. And here's the thing, I could tell that from the trailer. And even if you listen and you're like, oh, that like spoiled it for me, I'm not going to watch it. Even though I went in knowing that, it still didn't take away from how powerful it was. And Anthony Hopkins, I mean, he's just, when is he not good? He's never not good. He's never not good. Yeah, that's right. Um, so good. So uplifting. Uplifting. It will make you feel. It will make you feel.